866-775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And as we do every day, Ron Siegel Radio, we celebrate National Teddy Bear Day. Okay. Care Bears, Share Your Care Day. Sounds like a positive, upbeat message so far. But having beaten anorexia, you know the direction I go. It is also drum roll, please. Do we have a drummer in the house? Drum roll, please. Can we get him going here today? National Wiener Schnitzel Day. Yep. A law in Austria requires this dish to be made strictly with veal. Chefs make Wiener Schnitzel by tenderizing a thin slice of veal and then lightly salting and breading it. It is then deep fried in clarified butter. The term Wiener Schnitzel was first used in the early 1830s. Those similar recipes appear earlier. I'm not interested in the recipe. I just want to know, it looks pretty good. I'm looking at the pictures of it, and it looks like it's a good, tasty item for us, so we'll go with that one today. Hey, let's take a look and see what's going on in the markets today. Contrary to yesterday, we rebound today, up about Dow Jones up 519 points as we broadcast right now. S&P 500 up 72, NASDAQ up 293. Oil up $1.12. That's a big jump because I've heard a lot of people saying they're anticipating oil to take a drop, maybe down to the low 30s. That would not be a good idea. That would be very painful for our oil-producing areas of the country. Yeah, a little pain there. National average on a gallon of gasoline, $2.21.3. Venezuela, $3.24.3. Highest price in the country. And Mississippi, $1.88.2. They're the lowest price in the country. Yeah, Mississippi under $2. Venezuela over $3. Yeah, and we are more expensive. Yes, indeed, more expensive here in Venezuela than they are in the oil-producing state of Hawaii. Figure that one out. If you can figure that out, you are significantly better than me. Price is down about 0.5 cents on a national basis from where it was yesterday on the gasoline prices national level. Hey, let's take a look and see what else is going on the markets. The 10-year Treasury up 2 basis points. Not a whole lot of excitement right there. So it's at 0.698, roughly 0.7 is what you're going to get on a 10-year Treasury. They're going to have an auction today on a lot of those, so we'll see what the market feels about that. And we're watching that one for you. Tesla, is it going to rebound or not? Yeah, it's up a little bit today. It's up about $19 a share. The one that's a dog right now, and it's a great stock. It's down a lot, though, in the last short while, is Lululemon. I don't know if you follow that stock at all. I don't. Obviously, they do not make my size. That was almost a $400 stock in the last couple of weeks, and now it's down at 317. I got up to 399.90 is where it topped out. Now we're looking at 315.82 was the low. Just didn't give us a great guidance. They had a good quarter, but the guidance is where their problem was, so that we're watching that one. So those are just a few of them. Obviously, the top dog of all of them, Apple, up $5.11 a share. Microsoft is up $9.51 a share. So watching both of those as a big deal for you. We watch them on a regular basis, just seeing what's going on. We're gonna have that big Apple conference coming up. Let's see what else is going on in the markets that we should be talking about. Hey, maybe not in the markets, just in the world in general. GOP-led Senate will vote on a new targeted proposal of stimulus. Yeah, they're going on the budget version, about $300 billion. I know that the Democrats, they want $3.3 billion, or $3.3 trillion, $3.3 trillion. Everything they can possibly figure that they want to get, they're going to try and just lump it in there and see if they can get that through. Ain't going to happen. The Republicans are going to have some sense. Yeah, they're not going to get it through in the Senate, but they want to. It's all for show, because the Senate bill is going nowhere. The House bill was designed to go nowhere. So it's just the American people that suffer, and they really don't care. Right? I mean, it's just the way it is. It's all for show is basically what they're looking at right now with both sides of the aisle. Just trying to get the information out to their base. Hey, let's see what else is going on in the world right now. What other items do we have in our daily briefing for you? I know I saw some very fascinating things. Some of the folks don't want to understand what's really behind. If you're watching Rochester now, the mayor wanted it to sound like this was a good thing that the police chief and the top people in the police department all decided to retire yesterday. Unbelievable how that's going on around in some of these, again, obviously Rochester, New York, Democrat mayor, Democrat governor. Need I say more? Media doesn't want you to know about this. And I'll tell you what else the media does not want you to know about right now, right here. How about Black Lives Matter? I've been watching this, and I've got our private news service. Now, you know, if you listen to Ron Siegel Radio for any length of time, I do hire a private news service to get us information. So there is a difference between the Black Lives Matter slogan, Black Lives Matter Global Foundation. Well, to me, when I see either one of them, I just want to, I kind of merge them. Why? Because most people don't know the difference. So they glorify the communist version. That would be the one that is being led by Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, all in Los Angeles. Their whole focus is to see if they can overthrow the system and the governmental system in the United States. They are all self-proclaimed, and I give them credit, right? They're not hiding anything. They are self-proclaimed Marxists, communist agenda. The ones that I don't give credit to are the companies like Cisco, who gave them $5 million, Microsoft, $1.5 million, Amazon, $10 million, Gatorade, $500,000, Decker's Outdoor Furniture, $500,000, Unilever, $350,000, Nabisco, Ritz, $500,000, Microsoft, $1.5 million. I think we already got that one. DoorDash, $1 million, Intel, $1 million, Warner Music, undisclosed, big donation. Tom's Shoes, $100,000. Airbnb, $500,000. That's just a partial list of the corporations giving money. Now, do they give the money to the Black Lives Global Foundation? Not directly, because the Black Lives Global Foundation is not a nonprofit organization. So the money actually goes to an Oakland-based company called Thousand Currents, because they are a nonprofit organization. They collect the money. They launder the money. It comes back 71% of all these millions of dollars goes to the three women I told you about just a minute ago, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi. Yeah, so 71% goes to them and their consultants. Yeah, right. You know what their consultants do? That could be their mother. It could be some of these people that are out there that are getting flown around Did you see some of the protesters in Washington? They had come from Florida. Yeah, I wonder how they're all going on doing and funding all of this. So whenever you're hearing Black Lives Matter, when you're seeing Black Lives Matter, just understand, and you can make your own decision, that Black Lives Matter Global Foundation is in business to try to overthrow our way of life, our capitalistic way. They want to make us into communists, Marxists. How's that working out, Venezuela? How you liking that going on down there? Now in the rundown, how about AstraZeneca? Now, you know, this is a living proof that Kamala Harris is totally clueless. So AstraZeneca is one of the companies that is working on getting a vaccine. And if you listened at all yesterday, Kamala Harris came out and said, I wouldn't trust anything that comes from the president, so I wouldn't take the vaccine. Well, unbelievable. Now, is that doing any good for anybody? Is that what you call leadership? I doubt it. But AstraZeneca, they announced 2 nights ago that they're going to pause its vaccine study to review a potential adverse reaction in a patient in the United Kingdom. Now, figure this. They've got 30,000 people in this phase 3 trial. One person has an adverse reaction, so they pause the study. Does that sound like something that's being done for strictly political reasons? I just throw that out there for you so you can think about that when you hear Kamala Harris saying, I don't trust this president, so I wouldn't do anything that he suggests. That's a United States senator. Yeah, I know she represents Venezuela, so that's kind of a little odd part of it. But that is a United States senator saying, you know something, we don't want to trust the president of the United States, even though, yeah, he was just nominated again for a Nobel Peace Prize for his role in brokering a deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. Do you think that's going to make the news on the Cannabis News Network? Do you think that'll make the news on MSNBC Hee-Haw? Do you think that's going to make the ABC, CBS, or NBC nightly news? I doubt it. I'm not even sure they're going to cover the signing ceremony that's going to be coming up here shortly. But that's just the way our politics works right now. There's not a darn thing. This president could walk on water, and there's no way that he would get any credit at all from the media in the country. It's a shame. And then they say that he's the one that's causing the discourse. Now, he doesn't write all this news. He's not the one that's doing that. That's somebody else writes the news. He just is out there doing what he said he was going to do right along. I guess that's not the way you're supposed to do things anymore, but I guess this president hasn't followed the rules for anything, so we wouldn't expect him to follow rules on doing some of these bogus things that many are used to from politicians. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, got a great broadcast lined up for you today. We're going to chat a little bit about the latest unemployment rate. Yeah, we know that fell to 8.4%. How much money do you need to purchase a home? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations. NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards for $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. Mortgage-backed securities right now, they're down 9 basis points, which means interest rates are up ever so slightly. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 525. The NASDAQ is up 309. S&P 500 up 72, almost 73 points. 10-year Treasury, it's up 1 basis point on the yield. That's at 0.697. So it's basically 0.7% is what you're going to get there. If you give them your money, on that's an annual return. If you give them your money on that 10-year bond. And again, as I said, down 9 basis points on the mortgage-backed securities. Why? That's the question. I mean, anybody can give you all the information, but the why is of what's happening. Stocks rebounding higher, mortgage bonds trading near that 9 basis point I told you, in the middle of a range between the 50-day and the 25-day moving average. Looking to break out. Which way will it go? Earlier this morning, the Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for last week, showing that overall application volume was up 2.9% from the previous week. Purchases were up 3%, and on a year-over-year basis are 40% higher. Refinances also increased by 3% last week and are now 60% year-over-year. While there is still strong year-over-year comparisons are shrinking. Earlier this year, refinances were up over 100% on a year-over-year basis. Refinances made up 63.1% of all transactions, up from 62.5%. Interest rates, little changed, decreasing slightly from the 3.08 to 3.07, but it's still 80 basis points, about 0.75 of a point lower than it was this time last year. Remember, the MBA rate is for last week, always includes a fraction of a point, in this case, 0.36. That is not the same as the Freddie Mac rate that we give you on Thursday morning. So that's not the same report. Demand for housing remains extremely hot for the fourth consecutive quarter. Over half of home offers from Redfin faced a bidding war. 54.5% of homes sold in a bidding war in August, ticking down slightly from July's 57.3%, but still a significant amount. The competition was strongest in the coastal areas like San Diego, which saw 64.5% in bidding wars, and San Francisco and San Jose, which both had 65.2% in bidding wars. Make sure you take a look at these things. We've got some tools that can help give you some answers. Does it make sense to bid up a property? So we've got some tools for that if you want to get that information. It's about 10 o'clock today. We're going to get the results of a $35 billion 10-year note auction with yields moving a little bit, a little down today. Be interesting to see the level of demand for that 10-year note. If we do see strong demand, it may help push yields lower and MBS prices higher, breaking out of their range and above that 25-day moving average. So we're going to watch all of that for you. We do it every day. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, call Gold Star. Call us 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. So I saw this little fun fact earlier today, and I thought I'd share this with you. 40% of millennials contribute less than 10% of their home price as a down payment. There is still a major misconception out there of people thinking that you've got to have a 20% down payment in order to buy a house. The answer to that question is no, you don't need that. My focus on Ron Siegel Radio is consistently to get you to understand the facts of what's myth and what's fact in real estate. So the first thing that you need to understand, in my opinion, is get in the game. Are you really looking to buy a property, or is it your goal to rent and pay somebody else's mortgage? If you want to buy a property, anywhere in the sound of my voice, if you want to buy a property, I'm going to tell you right here, right now, you can do it. Now, the question that could come up, and I'm not going to tell you which way this is going to go for you, can you do it today, or are you going to have to get on a game plan? Sometimes you have to get on that game plan. Sometimes we have to work on credit scores. Sometimes we have to work on the job tenure. Sometimes we have to work on what are you reporting on your taxes, right? Because the tax, you're allowed to take everything you want that's legal off of your taxes and diminish your income as far as you can. But sometimes that is detrimental to your goal of home ownership. I've seen many people that write off a tremendous amount off their taxes. And at the end of the day, then the problem is that they don't have enough documentable income from their tax returns in order to qualify for that new home loan. So what we want you to really be doing then is make sure that you're adjusting the numbers. Again, I am not saying to do anything illegal. I would never, ever tell you that. What I am saying is you don't have to write everything off. And when you don't write everything off, or when you write the correct items off, then you end up in a better position for your home purchase. So that's what we call the game plan. Now, let's assume that you've got your taxes show income, not too much, not too little. Let's assume that you want to buy that new home, and let's assume maybe you don't have a lot of money in the bank. Well, there are programs to solve that problem as well. There are down payment assistance programs right here in Calizuela, and I have folks consistently saying to me, well, Ron, that doesn't work for us. We're in Calizuela, and property prices are way too high for us to be able to purchase a new home. Well, that's not true. Even here in Calizuela, you can get properties. They may not be your forever home, but you can get in the game. Sometimes you might have to stay there for 3 years because that's what the rules say on certain down payment assistance programs. Could you imagine buying that $510,000 house in Calizuela, in some parts of southern Calizuela, and you're getting maybe $25,000 in down payment assistance. Right, that's money that's coming right in to make your down payment for you. So if you were to go with an FHA loan that requires 3.5% down and you get a 5% assistance, that means you've got your 3.5% down and you've got another 1.5% to help cover your closing costs. Now, some of the down payment assistance programs, they all range. They're all a little bit different. There's several programs within there, but there are programs in the down payment assistance that will allow you to have interest rates very, very competitive. How about in some of them? I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying anything along those lines, but I am saying that there are some of those programs that have interest as low as 2.75%. So think about some of those different numbers. Think about some of these programs, and then let's take a look and see what makes sense for you. Now, I'm going to go back to the same thing I said to you a little bit earlier, right? The concept here is get in the game. Now, have that conversation. Call us at 800-306-1990 and see what makes sense for you and your family. I don't know what makes sense for everybody that's listening to us today. No possible way that I could give you that information on a radio broadcast. But what I can do is tell you that if you call our office, 800-306-1990, we can help you get on that plan to home ownership. And again, is it going to be 2.75% interest? I don't know. Is it going to be 3.5%, 4%? I don't know. But if you think about most areas of Calizuela, you're looking at a 5% appreciation rate on an annual basis, historic. Again, we don't know exactly what that'll be for you in your situation, right? I mean, every situation is different. And the fact that it's done this historically has absolutely no meaning as to what it's going to do in the future, right? So those are all the basis of these different programs. They're gonna have something different all the time. So when we chat and we get you on a home search, right? So you can start figuring out what fits your goals, what fits your ambitions, what fits your neighborhood. Then we look at your situation. You look at a loan application, credit application. See if you went and bought a new car last week and maybe you can't qualify now for the next 2 or 3 years because you've got your debt to income ratio out of whack, right? That happens. I see it all the time. But we can put you on a game plan and say, okay, now we know that you did that already. Let's maybe increase our payments on the car so we can get rid of that payment a little bit quicker. Then let's take a look and see if we can increase our savings to get a little bit more down payment money, because there are benefits to every program. So even though I've just told you about the down payment assistance program, that may or may not be the right program for you and for your family. What we use that for, and basically I'll be very, very straight with you, I always am, is that in many instances, the down payment assistance program may not be the right solution for you, right? It may be that you need to be looking at something different, and the conversation starter is the down payment assistance program. And that's fine. It doesn't matter how we start the conversation, because it's all about what your goals are, what your program, what your desires are, and getting it into the game plan for that to meet those goals. It could be that you need to save a little money. It could be that we have to put you in touch with one of our really good credit repair people, right? We've got those people on our speed dial, so we can help you get that information when you're ready for it. Again, those numbers are all there. We just have to put you in touch with the right people at the right time to get the right data, right? And think about that. Again, I told you 3.5% down, 5% up, maybe down payment assistance. That means you're basically going to get into that property for less money than it would cost you to start a new lease. Less money than starting a new lease. How many people are out there thinking about that right now? Or are you just saying, you know something, this is easier this way. I don't want to deal with that other part of it. I just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we've got a lot more good stuff for you today. The latest unemployment rate fell to 8.4%. How much money do you need to purchase a home? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part: you still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest, SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The digest is free. It'll tell you exactly what the county recorder knows about your property. It tells you exactly what the market believes about your property. And did I mention it was free? Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of it, is that it costs you absolutely nothing. You get it on a monthly basis. I have scores of people that are opening it actually hundreds of people opening it every single month, taking a look at what their property values are doing. No obligation, no intention of doing anything. It's just data for you. Latest unemployment rate fell to 8.4% last Friday. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released their employment report for August 2020. The big surprise was that unemployment rate fell to 8.4%, a full percent lower than what many analysts had forecasted earlier in the week, though it is tough to look at this as great news when millions of Americans are still without work. The number of unemployed is currently much lower than most experts had projected it would be just a few months ago. Not like the Great Depression or even the Great Recession. Jason Furman, professor of practice at Harvard, explained, quote, an unemployment rate of 8.4% is much lower than most anyone would have thought it a few months ago. It is still a bad recession, but not a historically unprecedented event or one we need to go back to the Great Depression for comparison, unquote. During the Great Depression, the unemployment rate was over 20% for 4 consecutive years. This April, the rate jumped to 14.7%, but has fallen each month since. During and after the Great Recession, 2007 to 2009, the unemployment rate was at 9% or greater for 30 consecutive months, April of 2009 through October of 2011. Most economists believe the current rate will continue to fall monthly as the economy regains its strength. So what happens going forward? The outcome will be determined by how quickly we can contain the virus. In their last economic forecasting survey, the Wall Street Journal reported the economists surveyed believe the annual employment rate will be 6.6% in 2021 and 5.5% in 2022. So that'll still be greater than the 3.5% rate we saw earlier this year. It's lower than the annual rate reported in 2011, 8.5%, 2012, 7.9%, and 2013, 6.7%. Bottom line, there are still millions of Americans struggling through this economic downturn. There is, however, light at the end of the tunnel. The unemployment situation did not get as bad as many had predicted, and recovery is taking place faster than most would have thought. We've been talking to you about that on a regular basis, that the economy is improving. And it never really got to be the negative or the big problem that we had anticipated with respect to housing. Housing seems to have done much, much better. And we've been watching that for you on a regular basis, understanding the fact that as housing continues to improve, the multiplier effect, right? When a house sells, there's about, I think the last number I heard is a 1.7% multiplier. So that means a $100,000 house generates $1,700 in other economic activity. You can do the math on that, because what's happening there is other people are getting paid. And I think that 1.7 is probably significantly low, right? It's because you've got real estate commissions, lenders making money, title companies making money, escrow companies making money. People are putting money back into the economy through home improvements, rebuilds, new carpet, new paint. All of that is going on. So I'm just going to throw out there to you that it's probably a higher number than that when we start looking at what the benefits are of that new home transaction. And being that we haven't lost or seen any fall off, we saw a couple of months, March and April, there was great fear in the marketplace. And as long as we don't see the market shut down again, with the economy shut down again, which I don't see any reason. I know that Joe Biden said that he might have to do that. We don't know that answer. But my belief is that you're probably not going to see that happen, right? And the reason that you're not going to see that happen is when the economy shut down in March, April, right? A lot of that had to do with ignorance. Ignorance, yeah. Because we saw this pandemic, the government, the officials saw this pandemic coming, and we didn't really know how to handle it. We didn't know what it was going to do. There was the predictions that came from Dr. Fauci, who's notoriously wrong all the way back to the AIDS virus. So we saw the information coming from him that was, again, wrong information, bad information. I know people are still listening to him, but look up Dr. Risch, an epidemiologist, just like Dr. Fauci. Fauci works for the government. Risch works for Yale, does a lot of research for Yale University. and they just didn't know what to expect. So they put all these bad assumptions into a model saying there's going to be millions of people die, shut down the economy. Well, now we've learned a lot more about the virus. We know that it's something to be respected. We know that it's something that you have to be concerned with, but the death rate is not what they had mentioned or suggested. I know the media doesn't like that concept. They want to continue selling this differently, but there's no reason to shut down the economy. And as we learn that more and more, the economy will get back to where it was. The regulation is moving out under the Trump administration. Yes, you saw that he did put in some new regulations yesterday, or extended regulations yesterday, to stop offshore drilling around Florida, the Carolinas, Georgia, right? So it's not like he's doing things irrationally, but he's getting rid of a lot of the regulation. So as we continue seeing that happen, the economy will strengthen. People will be buying more and more houses, and that trickle-down effect, as soon as we can get kids back to school. I know other countries are doing it. For some reason in our country, it's not safe. I don't know why our soil makes it unsafe while other countries' soil makes it safe. But that is just, it is what it is. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how much money do you need to purchase a home? Talk about that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investment? Is no? What are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals at Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and fair home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to REAP@RonSiegelRadio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Exchange and without notice, licensed by the California DOC and BRE/NMLS 217037 and 145502, and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, they've got the solution for you. So one of the biggest items I get on a regular basis is the question about paying a credit card bill. And 90% of the folks that I talk to pay their credit card bills incorrectly. And it just has to do with the fact that ignorance. It's nothing that people don't know. It's not that they don't want to pay them correctly. It's just no one's ever explained this to you. So the concept here is utilization rate. There's the two biggest items on your credit score, affecting your credit score, is payment history and credit utilization. So how do you maximize the credit utilization benefit of your credit scores or your FICO report? Well, here's the way you do it. I want to share with you, get you this information right away. So here's the way it works. First off, what is credit utilization? Well, credit utilization basically is take the amount of your line of credit. So say your credit card has a $1,000 limit, and your utilization is the amount that you've used. Okay, so you've got the utilization, say you have got a $900 balance on a $1,000 card. Well, you've used 90% utilization. That is going to be detrimental to your credit score. Now you say, Ron, I pay it off at the end of every month. Okay, good. When do you pay it? That's the big issue. It's not that you pay it off at the end of the month. It's when are you paying it? Well, if you're paying it right after you get your statement, you've done yourself absolutely no good. You've kept your payment history strong, but you've done no benefit for your utilization, which is the 30% of your score. Understanding that for mortgages, your score ranges from 850 to down to from 350 to 850. That's a 500-point spread. 30% of that is 150 points. That's what the utilization is going to be focused on. So what we want you to understand there is just know that if you use that utilization number at 90%, if you made that payment a week earlier, you would have helped your FICO score. By paying it as soon as you get the statement, you're not helping your FICO score. In fact, you're doing damage to your FICO score. So what I want you to do is take a look. That some people do this a couple of different ways. I know of some folks who maximize their scores by going in like on the 10th of the month, the 20th of the month, and the 30th of the month, and paying off their bills completely at that time. Okay. Depending upon how your statement closing date is, that could be beneficial. Maybe it's not beneficial. The best way that I know for you to deal with this is to go in about 4 or 5 days before your statement closing date. So if your statement closing date is on the 14th, go in on the 10th. Take a look at what your balance is and pay off as much as you can off of your balance. So if you're one that pays off that bill in full, pay the full $900 on the 10th. It's going to probably post on the 12th. Your statement comes out on the 14th, and you might have a zero balance. There may have been a couple of other things that came across, but you may have a zero balance. When that statement then reports, because they generally report right at the statement closing date, within a day or so of that. So when that reports, now you're going to come out and you're going to have a zero balance on there, and you're going to have a benefit. The benefit is going to be that your utilization is at its lowest possible amount. Because what ends up happening in many, many instances, I hear this all the time, you have a $900 balance, you pay it right away, you run it back up to $850 the next month. Statement comes out, now you're at 85% utilization, and again, you're detrimental to your FICO score. Now, remember, I'm not talking about Vantage scores. A lot of people call me and they say, well, this is what I saw on Credit Karma. Credit Karma is a Vantage score, a FACO score. It is not a FICO score. That's not the number you're looking for because they try to mimic FICO, but they are not FICO. And Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac require lenders, mortgage lenders, to use a FICO score, not the FACO or Vantage score. So just remember that portion of it when you're going and working on the numbers there. So you want to make that payment early enough that it gets posted. Now, don't fall into a trap. Here's the other part of it. I like to set up a automatic payment for a minimal amount. I don't know, $50, $100, whatever you're comfortable with, that goes to every credit card right before the payment due date, because I don't want you to ever be late. So if you find that your statement closing date is the 14th, you paid everything that was on there on the 10th, but on the 13th something hit. Well, now that's going to be reflected on your statement. So you may have $20, $30, $50, $100, whatever it is as a balance at that point. And they're going to have some sort of a number that's due at your payment's due date. Make sure that you make a payment before the payment due date. And I like to set that up as an automated payment. So that way you don't have to remember it. You don't have to worry about missing it. If you've got that automated payment going, it just goes every single month. And that way, if you forget to pay off your bill, you're okay. And if you forget to make that minimum payment or the residual amount, you're okay. It just helps you out to keep that 30% number as being as strong as it possibly can. So it's just a little bit of a ninja trick to make sure you get the most out of your FICO scores. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Also want to make sure that you are aware that right now, watch your credit and your home equity lines of credit. I'm hearing a lot from folks that because of what's going on in the economy with people losing their jobs, that there are credit card companies and there are banks that are lowering the availability. Because the other way of increasing your FICO score, if you don't pay off your bill in full every month, is to increase your limit, right? So if you have a $500 balance on a $1,000 limit card, you got 50% utilization. If you double that limit to $2,000 limit, you've stayed at the same $500 balance, now you've got a 25% utilization, and that's going to be a much better reflection on your FICO score under the utilization portion of the score. So one way is lowering the balance. The other way is increasing the limit. They both have the same effect. Obviously, we like to see those balances as low as possible because we don't want you paying any interest if you don't have to. That's the whole idea, is minimize your interest expense. Use that money instead of helping the bank's bottom line. I'd much rather see you use that money to go out and have a good time or reduce other debt. Be much better for you. Just a thought for you from your friends right here, Ron Siegel Radio. So how much money do you need to buy a house? That is the big question we get all the time. So I told you in the earlier segment about the down payment assistance program. If you're a veteran, one of the best loans on the market is for our veterans, and we thank you. Not that it's a gift loan, it is something you have earned. The down payment on a VA loan is zero, less than the cost of getting a lease started. So you have no down payment on almost all VA loans. So check that one out. USDA loans, that has a zero down payment. FHA loans, those have limitations as to how large they can be. But in Orange County, I think it's like $765,000, and it'll vary from place to place. But 3.5% is your down payment on the FHA loan. Conventional Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, there are various programs starting at 3% down. Now, to get rid of all the mortgage insurance, you're looking at a 20% down payment loan. So I do want to make sure that you have that information as well. Think about that 20% down payment is your goal but don't wait for it. Now, that might be the number that you're going to have for your second home or your third home. Or maybe you'll never get to that because you kept that first home. You didn't take the money out of it. You kept it as a rental property. Smart idea. And you bought another home that you're going to be moving into. Smart idea, right? So you get a starter home that might be a 2-bedroom condo. Might go to a 3-bedroom small house. Then you go to your forever house. Then you might be right-sizing, downsizing, whatever that might be, look like for you. So think about all those things. Again, strategy beats rate every single time. I've told you that over and over again. Strategy beats rate every time. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean, who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim